The crown was warm when they lifted it, and it was still growing. No one remembered when the kingdom first learned fear of birth. It began quietly. Children born without cries, without breath, their heads marked by soft buds beneath the skin. Horns that never hardened. Horns that never lived. The priests called them stillborn signs and buried the infants beneath the palace, sealing the chamber with salt and prayer. But the horns did not rot. They fused together, knitting into a single mass, whispering in the dark. Years later, during a plague of succession, the oracle demanded the crown be unearthed. What they raised from the crypt was not gold, nor bone alone, but a tangled circlet of pale horns, short, twisted, half-formed, each one warm, faintly pulsing. Veins ran through them like milk-filled roots. When touched, they twitched. The oracle wept in terror. The unlived are awake. The king wore it anyway. The moment the crown touched his brow, his shadow split. From it crawled the hornborn, creatures shaped like men but bent wrong, spines arched, skulls crowned with jagged, unfinished antlers that leaked dark fluid. Their faces were smooth, mouths sealed shut, eyes wide and pleading as they stalked the halls. They followed the king everywhere, mirroring his movements seconds late, like echoes that refused to fade. With each decree he spoke, the hornborn multiplied. At night, servants vanished. In the morning their remains were found fused into walls, horns sprouting from stone, eyes blinking from mortar. The palace began to grow inward, corridors narrowing as if squeezed by invisible ribs. The crown grew heavier. The oracle revealed the truth too late. The horns belonged to those who were never allowed to live. The crown was not a symbol of rule. It was a womb, a promise of form. And kingship was the price. When the king tried to remove it, the horns had already pierced his skull, rooting into his thoughts. His screams emerged from the hornborn instead, a thousand silent mouths opening in unison. The final ritual demanded the king be seated on the throne and buried alive as the palace sealed itself shut. Stone swallowed wood. Horns burst through towers. The kingdom became a monument of bone and silence. Travelers still see it on the horizon. A palace crowned in pale antlers. And sometimes at dusk, the crown inside shifts, waiting for a new head to grow.